Dang, left knee. Weather just changed recently. Those old bones are starting to feel it too. Hey friends, hope this finds y'all guys doing well out there. Oh man, that's like nuclearly hot. I'm gonna have to just set that aside for a second. So it is, let's see what time. I think it's 11 p.m. This is the 23rd of December, 2023. Haha. It's weird, we're almost in 2024. And so I wanted to sit down and do a quick video. I've been wanting to do this video for a very long time. I got sick a couple weeks ago, definitely wasn't feeling it, and so it's taking me this time to heal up. Oh, yeah, well, and all of that's for another video, probably. But anyway, I'm really excited. I've been really excited about this video, and I've wanted to do it for a long time. The video is about confidence, and how confidence is the one thing that we can add to anything to make it better, to improve either the thing or the situation, and confidence comes from within. Now, like I said, being that most of the tools that I use in life to make life better and have better interactions with other people play off of each other. Very rarely will one tool ever solve the problem or really even help the problem. It's like musical instruments and a band. It's really hard to have a band that's just made up of a guitarist or just made up of a drummer. You know, we really need all of those parts playing together. Well, I guess you can have a drummer, a guitarist, maybe a backup, you know, a vocalist. Don't need the whole symphony for most situations, though most things have to play with one tool and another tool, and after practicing it long enough and after using those tools to get that time with them and naturally know which one do I use next. So it's like I'm using this tool right now and I'm using it kind of at the same time that I'm using this other one. What should I use next? And then like reading the stimuli, right, and reading ourself and everything, that takes that practice to intuitively, instinctually know, oh right, yeah, follow up with the drums. Let's get a drum solo and then we're out. Hey, can you do that Beach Boy thing? That kind, can you give me a drum roll? Yeah, just drum roll me, right? Now, however, confidence is kind of like the old blues players. You know, they just sit there in the old crappy chair with their guitar and they just bang it, right? As banging it as a blues musician ever has. Still gonna take more time. Well, that's the thing too, is that's what it is, you know, the tools and stuff just take time to use. As far as confidence goes though, and I know I talk too loud, I like scream at y'all guys. I've really been doing this live stream thing recently and I've got to lower my voice. I'm used to having a kind of project, you know. Back to the topic. Confidence, I find that there are like three kinds of confidence. So there's real confidence, there's false confidence, and there's overconfidence. I really should have mixed up or put them in a better order. So like real confidence normally comes from, it comes from a confidence in ourselves to either utilize what we've already found in life and practiced on to apply to any given situation, an interaction with another person, a task that we were doing with a thing. And when we interact, the confidence levels change the outcome, even without other tools. So like a negotiation or something, right? Even if I didn't use advanced negotiation tools that I've learned for negotiating with other people, and I approach the situation armed only with my best wishes and confidence and a pretty good idea of the situation. I mean, there's got to be a reason that I'm in the negotiating room, right? I have some kind of idea of what we're talking about, what my bottom line is, what I'm trying to get from them. But nothing else, no other psychological bargaining tools or anything. I either have confidence or I don't have confidence. Most of the time, I'll nail it. I might not get the very best, because I'm not using those other things. I will get something acceptable if I'm utilizing confidence, because confidence says other things too. It says competence. So when somebody sees us and we're a very confident person, they'll judge whether or not we're overly confident, or if we've misplaced confidence, or if we're truly confident. And then that, if we're truly confident, it shows that we're competent. So we can do what it is we're saying we can do. And the only way they know that is because in order to be good at something, we have to be practiced at it. And once we've practiced at it and we've become good at it, then we gain confidence in ourselves. And that's what the other person is reading most of the time, to get our receipts on what we've been through to do this thing that they want. So negotiation with confidence, and even really with nothing else except a general knowledge of what we want and what's going on, or without confidence. We walk in without confidence and we do all kinds of hemming and hawing and might maybe self-deprecate for a humorous event or something, your moment in the negotiation, and typically just, we will even accept less. So a confident person doesn't accept the bottom line. They're like, oh, they offered me the very least that I can accept. I can make a profit on that, right? I'll take it before it lowers lower than that. That's what a non-confident person would do. A confident person walks out with at least an okay deal. I gotta turn this off and turn it back on. Yes, I still have issues. I have more than a couple of issues, right, guys? Now, hang on. I'm trying not to lose my place. Okay, got you. So I always try and include something from my life and my own experience when I'm talking about a subject. And so before I did this video, I said I've had a long time to think about it. But that, you ever want something to be just so good that you put it off, and then put it off kind of like past the point of being ready to really do it right? So I've thought about it so much that I came up with the idea to share with you a little excerpt from my life. There was a time in my life, I was in Ketchikan, Alaska. I was needing to get a job really bad. I had been looking for a job for like a month. My little family was starving out. There's nobody else to provide or anything. And I had filled out job application after job application. Well, I hit tourist season had just started up, and so a lot more businesses had started up because it's a very seasonal place. I had a self-owned job that I was working, trying to sell to the tourists. I really, though, it wasn't making enough money, and I needed to go get a real paycheck. So I got a stack, another big old stack of these applications for everywhere around the tourist area and any seasonal place in town. Now we're getting there. I sat there all day. What I was doing, I was selling products to the tourist, basically, as they would pass. So there was a lot of time sitting at this card table. So while I was sitting there, I was filling out all these applications, and they all had like these little trick questions, because they all think that you're trying to like, that they're all just so special and that they're all just so smart, right? So every single one of them would have like some trick question on it, or they'd be almost identical except this one little thing that they thought to throw in there. And so I'm going through and I'm meticulously trying to fill these out. I mean, I need it so bad, right? Well, the end of the day is coming. We're starting to pack up the table and everything. I've got one application left. So I needed to rush because I needed to get them all dropped off on the way back home. So I just sat down, I read it real quick, and most of it was really simple. It was like, who are you? Do you have work experience? I'm like, no. All this stuff, and most of it, it was all like, no, no, no. And I could feel myself realizing this will be one that just isn't going to work. And so at the bottom, their little question was, why did you leave your last job? Now, I know a lot of them have that on their questionnaire. It's not something that they thought of all on their own and all this. I didn't have time, though, because like I really left my job because I hated my boss, and it was a suck job, and I didn't need the money that bad, right? I just didn't need it. So that's what I put on my application, where it asked, because the rest of it, I had filled it out so diligently, even though I didn't have experience. And so in the end, I was just rushed and I couldn't think of anything. I said, I hate my job. I hated my job. No, I hated my boss, and I didn't need the money. No, I'm sorry. I didn't say I hated him. I said my boss was, yes, get it right, Matt. My boss was a jerk, and I didn't need the money that bad. That's what I said. And on the way home, I dropped him off at all the places and everything, and a smile and the best, most confident ways that I could. I'm like, I'm the man for your job. I'm a man for this job. Oh, you're going to like the way I work, because I never, ever use the same exact thing. That becomes robotic, right? When delivering something that is exactly the same, it's good to swap it up between. Otherwise, it comes off as robotic. Instead, it'll come off as confident, just that. And misplaced confidence can be used for those areas, because really, if I don't know what the job is, I only have confidence in myself and my ability to learn. So that's where my confidence is really, that's where the good, positive confidence is. The rest of it, like if I'm throwing that out there and I'm like just trying to get my foot in the door to get the job, I'll throw any kind of confidence out there that works, as long as it isn't false confidence. Overconfidence is good if we're competent in learning what we're going to do. False confidence, they can smell from around a corner and it never gets anybody anywhere. And also it leads to the most tragic setups in life. Normally it comes from us people who we believe something that isn't hard enough that we think it will be, and then get to the point to find out it isn't, and there it is. So a couple, I don't know what, maybe a couple weeks. I mean, this was like 17, 18 years ago. So I think it was like a couple weeks later. I hadn't got any jobs, and I'd kept going back to the places, and I'd ask them, hey, just wonder if any work had opened up. Really need a job. I tell you, you get me in here. If you got any problems going on in here, you just throw me at it. You need a hard worker that just keeps his head down and works. Just throw me at it. I'm your guy, dude, or I'm your guy, ma'am. That's another thing. Saying miss is also much more effective in a job interview, even if it is a ma'am. So, I thought I was up the creek because everybody just turned me down, and then all of a sudden I got a phone call, and it was the business that I had just been totally honest in the very end of it, and the way that I handed it to them, everything just worked out perfectly. And I think what it showed too, so a large part of the application where I didn't have any applicable skills, I didn't lie about it or scratching anything else. I was just like, no. And they did ask, well, what are your applicable skills? And I did put that in there. It was like, I am a very fast learner. You can teach me anything. Hardworking. I think I always show up on time, those kind of listings. I've always thought that it was when they looked at that, they saw a confident person who was competent in learning, and they decided to invest in me. And it wasn't a bad investment for them either, because I really did need the job. I really did do a good job, and I really did learn what they wanted me to learn. When they wanted me to advance, I advanced. I always made it known that I was willing to advance and wanting to advance and trying to learn the next position above me while doing the best job I possibly could in the position they had given me. And it was great, actually. It was a really good job. Unfortunately, it was seasonal, and so after that, it was back to the grindstone. Once again, though, it allowed me to approach the next job and the next job interview with the confidence to be able to actually make it a little bit easier. That's how I came to really realize that it does change things, and I knew that for years. Confidence was the tool I always used, really because I didn't know many others, I guess. Then I started getting into this life recovery stuff, and I started learning other tools, and I like to be a philosopher. I philosophy a lot, and that's where I came up with this idea that confidence can go with anything if we're using it right and we don't have false confidence. Okay, guys, this video is getting long. I hope it's been good. Never give up, never surrender, because you're worth it. And Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.